Alrighty guys, we're back for Bat Aggro, and this is a Bloomburrow standard brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked, but first things first, I'm Red Bat today. Let's go, look at me up here. Alright, what do we got packed in? We have all four Zoraline, Cosmos Caller. Let me know if I pronounced that right, because I haven't really decided how I want to pronounce this card yet. It's a 3-mana, 3/3, legendary creature, rockin' flying and vigilance. Now, even though it's legendary, I do have all four of them in here because I do think it's going to be that important. So, whenever a bat you control attacks, you gain 1 life. Nice. Now, whenever a Zoraline enters or attacks, you may pay a white, a black, and 2 life. When you do, return target non-land permanent card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. Yeah, seems pretty darn good, huh? What other bats do we have packed in? We have a couple Moonstone Harbingers. This is a 3-mana, 1/3 flying death touch, and whenever you gain or lose life during your turn, bats you control get +1/+0 and gain death touch until end of turn. Now, the heartbreaking part on this is this ability triggers only once each turn, but I still got a couple of them in here for a good reason. I think even if this is only activating once each turn, I still think that's going to be pretty darn good, so we'll see, huh? So I have a 4 Starscape Clerics. This is a 2-mana, 2/1 with Offspring for 2 and a black. It has flying. It unfortunately cannot block. And whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. Nice. I like it. We do have a ton of ways to actually pain and gain in here, like Valley Rotcaller making the cut as a 4 of, even though it's not a bat. The 2-mana, 1/3 with Menace. When it attacks, each opponent loses X life and you gain X life, where X is the number of other squirrels, bats, lizards, and rats you control. Pretty neat card, man. I think it's really going to do the thing today. Other bats we have packed in, all 4 Deep-Cavern Bat. Have you guys seen this one yet? No, I'm not even going to take the time to go over it. We have 4 Essence Channelers. This is a 2-mana, 2/1. Now, as long as you've lost life this turn, Essence Channeler has flying and vigilance. Okay. Now, whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on Essence Channeler. Okay. And then, when Essence Channeler dies, put its counters on target creature you control. Okay. This card is stacked with a whole bunch of stuff, huh? And what's interesting about all these cards that say, like, lost life this turn, like the Cleric and stuff, and the Harbinger and the Channeler, it could be as simple as just the caves over here, right? Our pain land. It's that easy. You tap it for a black, drop a cut down, and you paid 1 life. So, yeah. What else do we got packed in? We do have more bats, actually. We have 4 more Ruin-Lurker Bats. This is a 1-mana, 1/1 with flying and lifelink. And at the beginning of your end step, if you descended this turn, scry 1. Beautiful. You have other ways to gain life too, with a couple Cases of the Uneaten Feast, and honestly, I don't think it's going to be unheard of to actually solve this and be happy to use this solved case to potentially cast some creatures from our graveyard, especially when our creatures are this cheap, right? Now, on the top end, we do have a couple Sheoldred, just because it's terrific, and it also fits like the whole life gain theme. We also have Bloodletter of Aclazotz, which totally should be a bat, darn it, but it's a vampire demon instead. I think with all of this extra like Starscape Cleric and whatnot nonsense, I do think Bloodletter is going to be an excellent top end, but maybe I'm wrong. I mean, there is a reason I only have 1 of them in here instead of like 3 or something. Now, outside of the cut down, which I kind of already spoke about, we do have other spot removal like Bitter Triumph. This is another way to pay some life and maybe get the Channeler into the sky or something. Then we also have more life gain on the Virtue of Persistence being one of our choice spot removals too, as a 2 of in here. I don't think we're going to be casting this on the enchantment side very often, but I guess you never know. Also in the mana base, we have Concealed Courtyard as a 4 of, Restless Fortress, 3 Cavern of Souls, calling bat way more often than not, as 22 of our creatures are bats, and the 7 that aren't is Sheoldred, Bloodletter, and the Valley Rotcaller. Heavily leaning towards the swamps because the deck is heavily leaning towards the black mana, and then we have Mudflat Village in here too. That's kind of noteworthy. Okay, some important honorable mentions, guys. So I didn't just want to go Orzhov life gain. I very specifically wanted this to be bats. So there's some important ones over here, man. This Amalia, I believe, is making the cut in a lot of people's bat builds. And again, those builds kind of lean towards just Orzhov life gain. That also happens to be running a lot of bats. And I very specifically wanted bats. So no Amalia today. And that's the same concept with the Elisil core. These are honorable mentions for a very good reason. We've been seeing this lunar convocation pop up every now and then too. It's just a little bit slow for what I wanted the deck list to do, but again, honorable mention for a reason. Quest Caller didn't make the cut because I think that the, where'd I put it? The Valley Rotcaller I think is going to be much better for this list. Sanguine Evangelist could have been cool. This Dark Star Augur could have been pretty cool. And then Aclazotz for the top end as maybe a one of is definitely something to consider as well. Maybe we'll talk more about that in the final thoughts, but it's also, you know, we're rocking 23 mana and I'm trying to go fast with this list. So having a 5 mana top end, I don't know. It might be dead weight more often than not. Okay, guys, I do my dandiest to save the more in-depth discussion for the end of the video. So look forward to that. In the meantime, let's go ahead and take this into some ranked and see how we do. The game was telling me to have a 15-card sideboard. I must have built it in the wrong type of standard. That's funny. So what am I expecting from the list, guys? A little bit, man. I've been working on this bat list since the set came out, so... Oh, opponent goes first, and I'd call this a pretty slow hand, especially with our earliest creature being unable to block. Oh no, guys. Oh no, I'm crazy. I'm keeping this. Let's try it. You know, I like to test the deck lists to their absolute limits. I reset the deck tracker completely, even though I've been working on this for since the set came out. It's gone through many variations and many changes to get to this version, so... Alright, nice. Essence Channeler is going to be good. Oh, Cacophony Scamp. Yeah, and they went first too, so we might be in trouble in no time. Let's get that Mudflat Village down. I will consider... Well, I don't know what our 2-drop is yet. Let's see what they do first. Okay, Challenger comes down. They got those Rakdos colors because they're ready to use the Callous Sellsword in their red list here. That's my guess. I doubt it's like actually leaning Rakdos. I bet it's mono red with Sellsword. Oh, they're going for the sacrifice. That's early. Deep-Cavern Bat's really good draw. Let's do that. We kept this hand and we did not get punished for it. Yeah, there's the Callous Sellsword. Challenger on board. The Sellsword's the only one that can take care of the bat right now, but everything else is incredibly dangerous as well. Plus, if they throw a creature just to get something back, that would be pretty bad. Maybe it's Blazing Crescendo so they see less off the top, but Monstrous Rage is also very dangerous too. I'm going to take the Crescendo, and I hope that's okay. That's a tough decision, man. The opponent has a terrific hand. But like Crescendo on Challenger, and Challenger's Valiant goes off, and then Crescendo also lets them see one. Like if they saw a mana on the Challenger, and like a 1 mana card on the Crescendo, like that would be incredibly dangerous. An incredible turn for the opponent. They go for the Heartfire Hero. They do go for the Monstrous Rage. Swinging for 6, and we want to keep the Deep-Cavern Bat around for now. Already down to 10, and it is our turn 3. That is a terrific draw. Holy cow. The question here is... I mean, it should be the Zoraline, right? Definitely. Gain a bit of life back this turn. Don't plan on blocking with the bat, and hopefully we're okay for now. Yeah. Yeah, it's not bad. Let's do this. Oh, the pain damage, though. That's okay. Going back up to 11. hopefully we're okay for now, because I'll tell you what, getting that Sheoldred down on 4 is going to be pretty good too. Oh, they found a monstrous rage for the Heartfire hero. That's game, right? No, a Sellsword? Sellsword, sorcery speed. No, it is game. Wait. We have to block the hero, but then 6 gets through. Because they both have trample, right? And then another 5 gets through with the Heartfire hero. So I guess it is game. Oh no, it was as simple as the second monstrous rage. Darn. So because they had Sellsword in hand, if we blocked the challenger, they could have just thrown the Heartfire hero anyways, right? That would have been a very tough uphill battle regardless. And I've been bringing that up a lot against Mono Red, right? When they go first, it's your turn 3 and it's like, am I dead next turn? And yeah, it usually you are. So there's a reason people are playing way too many temporary lockdowns. Or at least the people I'm playing against, right? Yeah, I think without that second monstrous rage, I think we would have had a good chance there, right? A good chance to start to pull that back. Guys, let me know in the comments, what do you think of Red Bat? Don't worry, it's not going to be a permanent Red Bat. We're actually going to be returning to the classic Red Cat. And I'll just be Red Bat when we actually play, when it's on theme, you know? Opponent goes first, unfortunately. That last hand really ended up working out. The deck drew wonderfully. So we'll give this one a shot too, huh? 23 total mana. I think we'll be okay. I think we'll find that third on time for the Cosmos Collar. I also have a lot of confidence in the build, so I think we'll be fine. Oh no. Okay, at least it's nothing, but that probably means like a shock. There's our third mana already. All right. I'll get the Cavern down and call Bat. I have no issue telling the opponent what they're up against. It might be the shock, but depending on what's in their hand, they might just want to wait. They do end up just waiting. Yeah, it was different when Play with Fire was around, right? Because you could get that early scry then too. Essence Channeler is pretty good. I really don't want it to get shocked away though. I'd rather the Cleric get shocked away, especially since we have 2 of them. And then we can try to establish Channeler. Let's see what we draw to, because if we see like a 1 mana card, then it'll be Channeler and the 1 mana. Oh, Deep-Cavern Bat's pretty good too. Cosmos Collar gets picked up by Lightning Strike pretty easily, but we have 2 of them. Yeah, getting that down and established. You know, it might not be a Lightning Strike, right? I feel like I say that all the time, and it's always a Lightning Strike. No, Lightning Strike, why? We're best friends. How could you do this? Okay. Well, it's not as simple as 2 pieces of burn for the opponent, because we have a really good hand. They're just tap it out here with a swing, getting a scry, sending it to the bottom. Okay, well. Another Channeler is actually not half bad. Especially if we get to keep the Cosmos Collar around. Because if we see like 4th mana off the top, drop Channeler, swing. Because it says whenever a bat you control, not another bat, so that would be a really good turn. At some point, though, we need to get this... Are they doubling down burn on this? They are. Frolicking Familiar for the blow-off steam side, and then the shock. Hey, Cosmos Collar. Well, one of them has to stick around, right? Also, the 4th mana would be really, really good here. Getting Sheoldred down against Izzet would be excellent. Especially, like... Well, hopefully the Sheoldred doesn't get countered, though, because they are rocking that negate. Ill-timed explosion? Dude! No! My Cosmos Collar! No! Oh. No, how could you, opponent? Alright, this is the turn, though. Alright, we found our fourth. We gotta get this Sheoldred down for sure. For sure. Yeah. Like, we could double down on a couple other things. We just gotta establish something that isn't about to get burnt away. If we establish a couple things now, it might seem okay, but ill-timed explosion number 2 could easily come down. And at least the Sheoldred is pretty hard to hit with that ill-timed explosion. And then also it punishes them for drawing the 2 as well. Okay, so, right. Peer into the opponent's hand, drop a channeler. That is completely fine. We start by peering. We're going to start swinging with that Sheoldred too, because the opponent hasn't put any pressure on our face. We don't need that blocker. They got some simple burn for the Deep-Cavern Bat. That's not terrible, right? At least we know it's not going to be some kind of combat trick. They have a dispersal here. So 2 less to cast if it targets an attacking creature. Okay, that's one way to get rid of an attacking Sheoldred. Well, yeah, we're keeping the Cleric back for sure. Alright, so we're going to go for the swing. Get the Channeler down for the turn 2. Likely taking the 4 here, as I can't imagine they would chump just yet. That Rowl's going to be pretty good for them. We're probably going to be forced to target the Rowl. The last time we let the opponent keep a Rowl around, it completely ran away with the game, so... Alright, let's get that Channeler down. Yo, what's nice about this game is we're, like, actually in it. Like, when we're up against mono red, that's just like it's just a completely different ball game, right? As the games are just too early. Yep, Rowl starts generating. And as soon as we swing, this is just 1 mana to bounce the Sheoldred back, which is going to be pretty bad. So I wouldn't mind just holding. We could also, I don't know, well... We have the Ruin-Lurker Bat to play with the Sheoldred. We gotta get this out of their hand, right? They have a double block into the Sheoldred too, though. If they activate the dispersal on the Sheoldred, I guess that's... So we don't want to full swing. It's a little bit confusing for me right now. I'm gonna swing at that Rowl and see what they do. We gotta get this dispersal out of hand one way or the other. So if they target an attacking creature, it's just 1 blue mana. They bounce that back, we play it again, and we'll play the Ruin-Lurker Bat. They also get that Surveil too, which is actually pretty good. But it doesn't... To me, like, we just got to get this out of their hand. Oh, they're letting Rowl go down to 1. Well, if that's the case, we're going to go all out here then. Offspring. Over the Channeler. Get 2 of these down. They can't block, but now we're really going to start draining the opponent's life every turn. With that Sheoldred on the board, you know? Oh, they're going to pay 3 to bounce the Sheoldred on the stack. Oh, okay. That's a good idea, opponent. I didn't really consider that. They surveilled a negate. Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, Valley Rotcaller. Nice. Yeah, I'm wondering. I guess it is. It's going to be get that Sheoldred back down, right? And then we'll try the Ruin-Lurker Bat as well. Yeah, I'm still afraid of the Rowl, but hopefully we can get enough drain through and not have to worry about all these chump blockers. As far that they probably trade here, right? And we don't know what's in their hand. It's a little silly keeping these back, but the plan is to have these drain the opponent significantly. So no attacks. All right. Sheoldred's pain is going through. Down to 11. They pass it back. Another Valley Rotcaller. Oh, buddy. All right, here we go. Here we go. Clerics are popping off. I think we're just going to get both Rotcallers down, guys. As cool as it would have been to get, like, the double channelers. I'm just gonna get these down. Because now, if they deal with the threat, which is definitely Sheoldred, then they're going to have to deal with the bigger threat of double Rotcallers as well. It'll be 3 steps ahead for all their mana, guys. So what's happening here? Loyalty counter on that. Prowess going through. So they're countering the Rotcaller, and they're creating a token of the familiar. Nice. That's pretty cool. Now we just get the other Rotcaller down, and luckily we'll get a Scry on the Ruin-Lurker Bat, which we could gain life if we swing at the Bat. That's probably not worth it, right? Get that Scry instead. We don't need mana right now. I'm feeling pretty good. I guess it could technically be anyone's game because they could see an ill-timed explosion off the top. And it would still need to be a big enough discard to hit the Sheoldred, though, I would say. Brotherhood's End, that is still pretty darn good. But it's hitting all their cards, so that other card in hand must be nothing, because they would have let the Prowess actually save their creatures first. Yeah, that was... that was good from the opponent. And now they have a chump blocker that we have to deal with. And that's one of the reasons why Ral was so incredibly scary. If you let Ral stick around for too long, it generates so much value. It's very hard to get rid of. So the village bringing something back is probably pretty good. I'll do that. Let's see what we're paying there. We'll have 3 open. And honestly, this is pretty good, man. Having that Mudflat Village, this might actually work out nicely. Still the second channeler just like chilling in hand. Yeah, if that last card in hand was like a lightning strike, they would have played it last turn too to save their familiars. Okay, Cosmos Collar. And then hopefully next turn we can start paying life and bringing more back from the grave. Sheoldred's Pain and Gain. Ill-timed explosion. Bro. Bro. Oh, a Tali. Did they just discard a Tali? That's gonna hit the Sheoldred, guys. Holy cow. They go -3 in the route. Dude, we're in trouble. We need to figure out how to get this last point of damage through. Luckily, there is still a lot of things we can do. Mana is not one of them. But we'll play it, I guess. Get the channeler down. Holy cow. That was, I mean, the opponents had a game, dude. A second Atali. Oh. If they hit some life gain off of us, we're in trouble, man. Virtue, they do find some life gain. Bro. Bro, what's happening? I think this is heavily leaning towards the opponent, guys. I'm literally lost for words. As this really worked out, man. I guess there's a chance there was something I could have played a little differently. Maybe played it a little bit more aggressive on one of those turns. The Brotherhood's End came right on time. The double Atali, one for the ill-timed explosion, hitting a 6/7 Sheoldred. Oh no. Oh no, guys. Did we get a little unlucky here? It kind of feels like it, huh? We'll see though. This is going to be a game to go back and watch and see if there was a way through. Like, because getting the opponent down to 1, that probably means that I missed a few points of damage somewhere, that I just wasn't aggressive enough somewhere. Battling Mystic. The opponent's probably feeling pretty good right about now. I don't know what we could see to get that 3 points of damage through, but Bitter Triumph, they had 2 negates. I doubt they have a third. But doing this on other counter spells definitely exist here. We could actually pop the Ral finally. I say we go for maximum survival and get that 7/7 off the board, so that way we can see even more off the top and do our dandiest. I'm surprised, guys, because this ended up being like a heavily control style list, which is not what I was expecting at all. Even like the Season of Weaving, like this is...
No more watching. It's time to do
This is big, is it, bro? This is not what I was expecting. Not when they were dropping like the Frolicking Familiars and whatnot. When I was going wide, maybe we should have kept a little bit more back in hand. How many turns did I have the Rotcallers? Wow, the Sheoldred is a really good draw, but they easily pop it with the Chandra. But we play it anyways, right? And this is where that life gain, that's what I was very afraid of when they hit that Atali, when I said, like, if they hit that life gain, we're in trouble. Doesn't look like Sheoldred's going to land anyways, guys. It is. It's going to be a Phantom Interference. Oh, wait, we can pay that. Oh. Nice. Wait, why is there 2 of them? Oh, Chandra, how could you? We're also best friends. How could you do this? All right, so I think the opponent can win this turn. They just need to drop some burn on our face. So I'm going to get the GGs ready. Wow, what a game, huh? You guys let me know in the comments. Do you guys think I got unlucky, or do you guys think I'm right and I probably missed that damage somewhere? Ill-timed explosion. They don't have to discard here. They just draw extra. And if they don't find burn for some reason, then they can just keep buffing the Otter Prowess. It's going to be Slick Sequence, actually. And they got 7 on the board. Just a little bit more burn. Or Restless Spire. That works too. Good game, opponent. I mean, honestly, I like the opponent's deck list. I wasn't expecting Is It Control to come out of this, you know what I mean? Not at all. But now I'll be expecting it in the future. 16-minute game? Holy cow, that did not feel long to me. I apologize, guys. Well, let's keep the ball rolling. I believe in the deck list. We got absolutely obliterated there, and I'm not convinced that that was the deck list's fault. So let's keep the ball rolling. Only we'll roll the ball towards victories instead. How's that sound? And guys, while I have you here in the middle of the video, make sure you check out that description where we do got that Discord link as well as that Patreon link too if you're interested in supporting the channel that way. And also, if you like the video, make sure you drop it a like. And if you like the channel, consider subscribing. All right, I think the hand is fine. Hopefully we find our third in time too. The opponent goes first again, unfortunately, as well. Duress takes the cut down. And we find our third. Easy peasy. Based on the swamp, I'll start paying life for the Ruin-Lurker Bat, especially since it has a lifelink, so we get that life back. Next turn, it might just be Restless Fortress tapped to make sure that we have the Cosmos Collar on 3. They go Fabled Passage. They go ahead, pop it now. It's going to be a Plains. Essence Channeler. Yeah, that's the play. We play it before combat. Cut down might be in the opponent's hand. Let's see. Oh, they're going to cut down the bat, actually, instead of the Channeler. So that must be more spot removal for the Channeler, then, is my guess. It sure is. -2 on the Liliana. And Cosmos Collar. Number 3 off the top. Yeah, Cosmos Collar not coming down here. We're in danger. Absolutely. This could easily be controlled by Orzhov discard is what I'm guessing, but it might just be Orzhov too. Yeah, Liliana lockdown state is incoming when the bat won't take out the Liliana, but at least we'll be able to get it away from the -2. Well, hopefully, right? See if we can get that swing. Get a little bit more life gain here too. Gonna do the Mirex token for the turn. Okay, good news, guys. We might not be in a Liliana lockdown state. It would take a second Liliana to put us there, and I think we're okay for now. So we can start to pull this back, maybe. Caustic Bronco, nice. Looking at that Cosmos Collar. Yeah, when they go plus on the Liliana, we discard our last Cosmos Collar. They actually don't plus because they want to keep their last card in hand, and we do find land here too for the Sheoldred, which will be excellent. But we're going to want to maybe use the Cosmos Collar ability instead this turn to try to generate some value and keep this discard around as well. So let's go like this. In case they have spot removal in hand, we full swing at the Liliana. That's if their last card in hand is removal for the collar, then at least Liliana dies. That's the goal here. And then bringing the Channeler back is probably a good idea since we've lost a lot of value. And that starts getting some counters too. The Liliana dies, that's good news. Extra counters there. I'm gonna play the Mudflat Village. What do we need 5 for, though, when it comes time? I'm gonna... Yeah, we should play it, we should play it. Just in case they find multiple cards to make us discard even more. So I'm trying to play around discard, but it might not be discard, but the Duress and the Liliana... Yeah, we have a good amount established now. We go for that swing. They find a land. And we block, right? No issues with the block. Okay. And then the 1/1 can't block. So they have 2 cards remaining in hand. I can only imagine it's going to be something. Still anticipating some spot removal here too. GG opponent. All right. I really want to know what they had left in hand, honestly. We established a lot. That was really good. I think if they didn't have removal for the Cosmos Collar, well, I think next turn when we swung, I think it would be possible, depending on what we drew, to actually pay the 2. Pay the 2 life, and bring the Ruin-Lurker Bat back as well. That depends on what we saw off the top, though. Because if we saw a 2-mana card, then that would be pretty good. Yeah. All right. Nice. The opponent still had a lot of life, though, so, I mean, they must have had a really bad couple cards in hand. Because it still could have been a couple more turns before we actually got to the end there. Let's go one more, guys. I didn't break out the red bat for just 3 games, you know what I mean? And I think we can easily end on a high note and bring that win rate up to at least a 50%. I have a lot of confidence in the build. Great hand. Best hand of the evening, and we're going first. I think we're going to focus on the turn 2, though, with the Starscape Cleric. Over the... No. There's a pretty good chance of seeing more untapped land off the top. Restless Fortress is the only tapped land in the build, so we should be okay. Or early tapped land. Forest. Yeah, we'll go Go for the Cleric. A lot of the creatures will actually be playing in that first main phase because it affects a lot of the combats. Deep-Cavern Bat gonna hit the Zoraline, although hitting the Ruin-Lurker Bat would, well, yeah. Yeah, if we found the 3, then the Cosmos Collar was the play, and we do find the 3, which would have been really good. The trades here are really good too, and they don't know what's in hand. We're gonna go for the full swing, or they don't know what we drew, I should say. They know everything else here. Yeah, any of these trades are good. Gonna take it. Alright, that means we can successfully get the Restless Fortress down. I'm afraid about our Bloodletter. I really don't want to discard that. But, like, we still have to play everything out that we can, right? We can't anticipate Golgari having a whole bunch of discard or something. Although, I guess it depends. Demolition Field, so at least it's not going to be like a Liliana for the turn. That Bloodletter should look very menacing right about now. I'd love to see our one of Bloodletter actually wrap up a game. That would be really cool. Gonna be some spot removal for the Cleric, so the Bloodletter is a little less menacing now, right? But Mosswood Dread Knight, okay. Keep their blocker back. They do keep their blocker back, and Starscape Cleric. All right. Well, for the turn, it's Bloodletter. And we do swing. And we accept any trades that the opponent wants to give us. And if they take it, that's good for us too. Down to 8. We're at 22. Land off the top wouldn't be bad. I can only imagine removal for Bloodletter is going to happen. Yeah, mana off the top can help us power up the Restless Fortress. It was a shoot the Sheriff from the opponent. They go back up to 8. We do find mana, but it's tapped. And that's okay. Yeah, mana off the top would either give us power up Fortress or the Offspring on the Cleric. But since it's tapped, we're just going to play the Cleric before swinging. Because it's extra damage. Yeah, that Bloodletter, man. I'll tell you what, if that would have stuck around, that would have been it. I'm feeling good, but Golgari can easily pull it back, man. Easily. Easier than what that Izzet deck list. Or a better chance than the Izzet deck list, right? And the Izzet deck list absolutely just ran away with it. Yeah, Golgari should be very scary to us, even though we had a really good start here. Oh, this is actually good news for us, though. Their only black mana is actually Pain. So, Sheoldred's Edict. That would be the Ruin-Lurker Bat, I think, right? We want to keep the Starscape Cleric around. Now they're down to 3, and we have enough mana to power up the Fortress. And the Fortress is going to be enough here, unless they have a fight spell. They do go for just one swing down to 17, and we ignore everything else as we power up the Fortress. Although the Cosmos Collar was pretty good. 50% win rate. Let's go, guys. It's those first 2 losses were pretty rough. Mono Red beating us very fast, and Izzet just absolutely running away with it. It's too bad we couldn't reverse these, right? Put the victories at the beginning of the video instead. Now, I still, even with those losses, have a lot of confidence in the build, guys, and I wonder if those 2 victories helped you see why, right? Because it has this level of consistency, or it has this feel of consistency. So let's go over the deck list again here. Bat aggro. All right. I think the 4s are... Dude, this had like the biggest target on its back. Holy cow, man. I think the 4 of these makes a lot of sense, even though it's legendary. But it's totally okay if you just want to rock 3 of them. I know that that's just how it is for some people and legendary creatures, but I also think it's pretty darn important. And I think that when you're establishing all of your other bats and whatnot onto the board, and then you play this, that's really good, especially when paired with that Starscape Cleric, which I actually really like, even though it can't block. The deck is trying to be aggressive, and this plugs in a lot of extra damage when you are gaining a lot of life. Didn't get to see the case of the Uneaten Feast today. I still think it's going to be worth the 2 of, but I could also see dropping it down to 1 and opting for more spot removal. Another Bitter Triumph would probably be pretty good, especially since that can help us hit Planeswalkers. And boy, oh boy, did we need to take care of that Ral in that Is It game, right? That would have been really helpful. So having like 3 of these, maybe that would have completely changed the pace of that second match. The Rotcallers, we didn't actually get to see do anything, right? We had a pretty menacing board state against that Is It build, where the Rotcallers were going to be like 4 or 5, but the board wipes after board wipes just completely devastated us there. That's going to be another thing too, man. When we are going up against, it's either just pure aggro, just super aggressive stuff, or just like pure control with a whole bunch of board wipes and temporary lockdowns and whatnot. Temporary lockdown could be particularly devastating in this deck list. The only real way that we have to deal with it is grabbing it early with a Deep-Cavern Bat, which will actually happen quite often. Deep-Cavern Bat being an excellent card. That's also a bat. So Virtue of Persistence, we should do some rearranging. Getting 7 mana in this build is going to be pretty steep, especially when we're trying to end the games early. Yeah, what's crazy about that Is It match, man, that's definitely one I want to go back to, because like early on, we couldn't even really tell that it was a worthwhile concede. Maybe after like 10 minutes, maybe? Not really though, right? It kind of felt like it was just leaning towards us the whole time. So the double Sheoldred was pretty darn good, even though it's not a bat. It's just one of those like top end cards that's just like too good to pass up, especially in a deck list like this that actually cares about gaining life and of course cares about draining the opponent's life as well. Now it's definitely noteworthy. Well, maybe not so much. That doesn't really matter. It's not really anti-synergy, but the Bloodletter of Aclazotz is, if an opponent would lose life during your turn, they lose twice that much life. And so when they draw on their turn and take the 2 for the Sheoldred, that's not doubled. But if they somehow draw on your turn, then I guess that's different. But that would be quite silly for the opponent to actually do. Anyways, the Bloodletter, the opponent would lose life, right? So like when you're swinging with a Rotcaller and whatnot, it's just too bad that it's not a bat in and of itself. Do I still like the 1 of? I think that the Bloodletter, in that last game, how do we feel? I mean, first of all, if the opponent didn't have removal for it right away, that would have just been a GG's. Luckily, it was a GG's anyways, but speaking of which, the 1 of Restless Fortress is still going to be pretty darn good. Even though we're going aggressive, it's okay that we have 1 tap land in here. It's still going to do the thing every now and then. In a deck list where you're kind of sweating about board wipes and stuff, and like I said, the only real way to get around certain board wipes, it was like Deep-Cavern Bat, grab it early on, so that way you can actually establish everything. Those are the decks that really like to have the Restless lands too. That way, if you miss that and the opponent does wipe the board, then at the very least, we can still power up the Restless Fortress. Yeah, I keep going back to that Is It list, man. If we had the Restless Fortress on the board, that would have been a different game. We would have won probably. So maybe we want 2 of these, honestly. Maybe. I could see dropping a cavern going up a Restless Fortress. I could easily see that. You guys let me know in the comments, how do you feel about that? The other issue though with the Restless Fortress is we do see it early on, and so it does slow down our curve just a little bit. We didn't get to see the Moonstone Harbinger today. That's okay. I'm keeping the 2 of. I think it would actually have been excellent in the matches that we played. So, yeah. It might be a little slow sometimes. I mean, there's a reason we're not rocking all 4 of them in here. I just think when you see it, it'll kind of do the thing. That's kind of the concept of the 2 of in here. The Ruin-Lurker Bat. Is there any other 1-mana bat cards? I don't think so. And even if there was, we'd still want it to have how do we specifically search for bat? It's like that, right? And then we go 1 mana. Oh, not collected too, just in case, right? Yeah, it's just the Ruin-Lurker Bat. It's definitely worth it, man. That lifelink and everything going to be really good. And then also, when you are curving out properly and you go Ruin-Lurker Bat into a turn 2 Cleric into a Zoraline on turn 3, it's a really good curve, man. There's a lot of burn and a lot of removal all the time. And yes, a lot of board wipes like I keep bringing up. But our curve is really powerful. I like the deck list overall. I think the more that we play, I think we can get this above a 50% win rate as well. I still have a lot of confidence in the build. I brought this up at the beginning, I believe. It took me quite some time to actually piece this one together. So I've been working on it since the beginning of the set. I like it. You guys let me know if you want me to revisit bats only next time, really focus on the Orzhov life gain side of things. Definitely let me know. All right, guys, I think that's everything. Yeah, if you made it this far into the video for real, y'all are champions. I super duper appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.